Forever. Dog.
When your first choice is a big old bus,
You turn around and boom,
you end up with us.
sloppy seconds. Oh, diva. Our number is 213-536-9180. Our email is sloppysecondspod@gmail.com. Now, on with the show. Are you ready for some sloppy seconds, you stupid little fucks, you nasty little fucks, you dirty little fucks, you sloppy little fucks, you nasty little fucks? I'm Meatball, and that's Big Dipper, and welcome to Sloppy Seconds with Big Dipper and Meatball. Did I say Big Dicker?
I don't know. Listen, did you know that my nickname in high school, this is so embarrassing. Well, whatever. My last name sounds like this word, but people called me Spermer in high school.
Well, if it's like a one letter off, they will just call it to you. They will just make fun of anything.
I was like, Spermer? One who sperms? Like, what is that? Like, that's not even a thing.
One time in high school, I had a kid walk up and ask me, because you're half black, is your cum black?
What?
And I was like, I don't think you understand how science works. We're in high school.
Wait. That is an insane... Well, it's not an insane thing.
It was Texas. They don't teach
My
you shit
people,
in Texas.
white people, we are dumb and stupid.
Yes.
Wow. I'm like aghast.
Isn't that dumb?
It's very dumb.
The level of stupidity. All right, so what have you been up to this week?
Well, I'm just thinking back to that because people would literally and then that nickname got shortened. People would call me Sperms. What's up, Sperms? How is that? I mean, it makes sense now, but not in high school.
Every
week
we bring up a fresh new trauma. Like, we're just constant. We can't let these people have a break and just have a good episode.
Here's the deal. We were fucked up as kids. That's what it really is. You know what I was thinking about the other day? It was National Coming Out Day over the weekend or whatever. I don't mean to be dismissive. We'll talk about it. But
National Coming Out Day meant a lot to a lot of people. Do not undermine it.
I'm not trying to do that. But I did have a memory in my brain because as we all know, I was seeing my parents recently, and we were talking about the house that I grew up in because some old mail had somehow made it there, and the really nice people who live there now forwarded it to me in California. It was like someone had my old
That's
address,
insane.
and they were like, "Here you go." So it was very nice. But it made me remember when I was in middle school. Under a bookshelf, I took permanent marker and I wrote "I'm gay" underneath the shelf. I like squiggled it in a thing.
So
and
that
then
was
I took
your coming out story?
And then I took Sharpie and I just like covered it. And when my parents were getting ready to sell the house, they had like painted everything. But I don't know that you often think to paint the underside of a bookshelf. Like maybe clean it, but you're not like, and it was a lower shelf. So you would have to get like down on all fours and like stick your head in there. And I was like, hey, maybe we should make sure to paint that because there's this like weird traumatic like diary moment of me coming out to myself and then scribbling it out as like a middle schooler.
Well,
can you relate?
Well, and with that fresh trauma on hand, I think there's a lot to unpack there. And
I did go to therapy
willing
as a
to
child.
go for a deep. Okay, that's good. I was in therapy as a kid too. I think my parents knew there was something very wrong with me back then. I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, the shit I put my parents through, the gay shit I would like run around and do and have them be mad at me for, just like playing with dolls in front of everybody. I was like, that probably didn't help me out a lot as an adult. Anyway.
Well, now we're both stars. How about that?
Yeah, and on that, why don't we go to a break and just take it all in for a second?
Yeah, a deep breathing moment just to recenter ourselves.
Are you crying? Oh, we'll be right back.
We all have days when we want to eat well, but just don't have the time or the energy to plan, shop, and cook.
That's exactly where Factor comes in. They deliver fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs right to your door.
With Factor, you can stay on track with your nutrition goals, whether that's high protein, balanced meals, or overall wellness, without any extra effort.
The meals are fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes, which makes it easy to fit into your routine.
You know, I love coming home after a long day and having a tasty and filling Factor meal. It's waiting for me, and I don't have to worry about shopping. It's quick and easy, and one less thing I need to think about when I get home.
You know, I'm feral for fish right now, and I always get my fix with Factor. I recently had their scampi-styled shrimp and salmon, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint.
So get Factor today and start enjoying delicious and nutritious meals.
Head to factormeals.com/sloppyseconds50 off and use code sloppyseconds50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only, while supplies last until September 27th, 26. See website for more details.
That's factormeals.com/sloppyseconds50, like the number, off. Sloppy Seconds 50 off. Do you want to improve your sleep? Well, listen up and get a Helix.
Whether you sleep on your side, your back, your stomach, Helix makes premium mattresses that are designed to fit your specific sleep style.
You know, now that it's spring, why not upgrade your sleep game and get a Helix mattress?
And you know what?
What?
I can guarantee you that they have a mattress for you with over 20 different styles and models for you to sleep on. I love sleep. I can't get enough of it.
And I love my Helix mattress. So ever since I got the big and tall, I know we go on and on about it, but it's a perfect fit for me. I haven't had a mattress before that I was able to select a model from, and I'm so happy I got to do that with Helix.
And I, too, have the big and tall model, and it's perfect for my big and tall body. I loved it so much, I got a second one from a guest room.
True.
Yes, baby. And the people are sleeping great in there when they eventually do sleep in there.
Best of all, Helix delivers right to your door with free shipping in the US, and you can get 120-night sleep trial to make sure that it's right for you.
You also get peace of mind because Helix mattresses are backed by a limited lifetime warranty and have been recognized by experts at places like Forbes and Wired. And me. I am a sleep expert too.
Period. Go to helixsleep.com/sloppy to get up to 27% off site-wide during their Memorial Day sale.
That's helixsleep.com/sloppy, and make sure you enter sloppy seconds after checkout so that they know that we sent you.
helixsleep.com/sloppy.
Get yourself a Helix.
Okay, something about me. I love shopping. If you love shopping too, you have to check out Rakuten.
And all you have to do is shop, 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 shop. And with Rakuten, you get cash back and rewards on almost everything you buy.
Exactly.
Shop.
Homeware, daily essentials, jeans. We're talking eBay, CVS, and even Levi's.
Ooh, so I can buy a vintage couch, tons of paper towels, and grab a new pair of jeans and still get cash back.
And that's not all. You can even stack those rewards on top of sales and coupons.
But Big Dipper, how does this magic work?
Well, I'll tell you. Rakuten is paid by partner stores to send them shoppers, and then Rakuten passes on some of that money to you, the member.
Rakuten is so real for that.
Plus, Rakuten has 17 million members who are already saving. Don't you want to become one of them?
Join for free at Rakuten.com or download the Rakuten app and start saving money now.
That's Rakuten.com or download the Rakuten app today. Okay, we are back and very, very excited to have with us a super special guest.
A legend.
A legend and an icon. So, someone who is newly become someone I get to interact with regularly, and I'm very grateful for it. I look forward to when I get to work with them all the time.
An Emmy winner, a Moon Man winner. She has met lots of celebrities. She co-hosts a show on our same network. It's Down to Work.
Yay!
Yay!
Hi.
Hello. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for being here. Did you have a busy weekend of in-person appearances?
I did have somewhat of a busy weekend, but Sundays it's such a weird way that I've been trying to like acclimate to returning to some level of performance, if you will, just because I'm so used to like I've always been a bar queen, so I've always
Right.
worked at any bar, and I had my consistent spots that I always worked at, and then when everything changed and now we're returning to it, the place that I always worked on Thursdays has become now the only place that I've been able to work, but I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I kind of set up for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And when Wednesday rolls around, like Wednesday morning, I'll wake up and think, oh fuck yes, like I get to go do a little bit of what I've always done in, of course, a new format. We do it outside. Like we have this running joke about because we used to have there used to be a pre-show and then the 10 o'clock show. So it was like the pre-show was called Opening Act, and then it was called Lipstick Divas for the regular show. And so we would be like we were trying to call ourselves something new because it's not really just that one show now. So Laganja and I were calling it the Asphalt Angels because
Yes.
we perform in the parking lot, and then we literally perform in the shared that shared space where it's a liquor store.
Yes.
So there's people going to the liquor store walking right by. So we were calling it Liquor Store Lovelies. We don't know.
So full disclosure, I came and saw the show, and then we talked about it on a podcast a few weeks ago. So like our listeners sort of like know the deal. We talked about the masks and the little butterfly. What I will say is that you're like, oh, I don't use the house net. I'm not going to use the house net that the other girls use.
No,
I have my own butterfly net that is coordinating to my costume, possibly a little rhinestone, bejewels.
Yes.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
you went in.
So I got I'm a creature of I'm an only child. So I have no siblings. I was raised by a single parent for the most part. I mean, I had a stepdad for a while, but that's useless. So I've always been so like by myself all the time, and it's not that I love people. I do love people, but I'm so used to doing everything by myself that I guess I just overthink everything. And so when I realized I was going to go back to performing, I thought, well, I've got to. The first time I did it, they were like, "Oh, we have nets," and this was at a Hamburger Mary's. They were like, "We've got nets," but the thing is, something that's shared, people are gonna fucking ruin it.
Yeah.
And so I'm not joking. Then you can't see me holding it, but like the handle that was left on this net was like 2 inches, and then it looked like I don't know. It almost looked like a measuring cup for baking or something.
Right.
And I was trying to like parade around like I was, I don't know, somehow glamorous, holding this little thing like I'm the diva or whatever song I'm doing, and I'm holding it out, and it's like, bitch, no, you're not. You're an asphalt angel, honey. Like you're holding
You're
a fucking
lizard. A lot
yeah,
lizard.
you're a lot lizard
honey.
holding a like fix it up a little bit. So anyway, I got crazy, and so now I think I have 6 different nets. I have like a silver one, a black one. Dumb shit. I'm still begging for wet dollars.
How has it been, going from, your normal stage shows to performing in the parking lot? Was it a hard transition, or did it just feel like adaptable, super easy?
I thought it was going to be really hard. And other than just figuring out like because we even socially distance in the dressing room. So 2 people get ready or 2 or 3 get ready in the basement because it's bigger. And then 2 or 3 get ready on the second level. So we have more space, but it's just weird because now we're getting ready on the actual dance floor where we once performed, and there's like no one there. So it's like the ghosts of yesterday, right?
Wow.
It's like a little freaky. And there's like one dim light and then just a bunch of little makeup mirrors in different parts of the club. So it's a little spooky, but I love it. I actually really, really love the outside setup. Maybe because it's been summertime, at nighttime it feels good. I worked in Palm Springs, 17 years straight at Toucans, and I became obsessed with working in the summertime when you would get to just like afterwards hang out and have cocktails, and it's like 95 degrees, and that's the cool time, right? Like that's when it's actually
in Palm
down.
Springs.
And even though you're still sweaty, it's like that nice experience of sitting outside with your friends. And so it's been sort of that way, even though we're not socializing and we can't really hang out with people. You're still getting a little bit of that. And it's been so long since I've worked in Palm Springs, since before, obviously, before the pandemic.
Wow, I think I'm having a stroke. I was gonna say one of the funniest things is how everyone interacts with their net differently. You know, like Morgan, when we saw it, I talked about this a little bit, but I'm just fascinated by it. Morgan was like whipping it around like dance moves, like it was like flags or whatever. China pretended she was playing tennis with the net before she filled it with money, which I thought was so funny. And you make yours a very interactive, almost sexual. You extend the wand through your finger and then you pull it back. It's all very, it was very bad.
I know. Maybe I'm not even aware that I'm doing it. I thought you were going to catch me eating chips out of it, because I do keep a bag of chips inside. But okay.
I love that. So let's I want to get to like the history, because I don't know this about you. What made you start doing drag, and when was that?
So I when I very first started, like, and not really obviously professionally, just wanted to get the idea of going out. This was like in probably like 1995, after I graduated from high school. I graduated from high school in 1994.
Okay.
And where were you?
What's that?
Where'd you graduate? Here in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA. So I when I was in college, I went to my first rave.
Okay.
And I had this friend named Raisa, and she used to wear the big, like, do you remember the big, like, was it Jinko or whatever?
Yes.
Like the
Jinko
massive
jeans.
pants.
Jinko jeans.
She wore those, and she had a pacifier. Like, she went in. And I think now she's actually a manager at a Cost Plus. Like, so she's like a professional person, and
right.
Not, but you know, and not that you can't wear those and be professional, but it's an interesting juxtaposition to see somebody who was so free spirited and hopefully still is. But in any event, I said, oh my God, I want to dress up like something. And she goes, oh, you should do drag. Like, that would be so fun for you. And I was like, at the rave? She's like, yeah, you're going to be with me. Like, who's going to say something to you?
Oh,
and
wow.
she was like, people at the raves, like, they want you to have a good time. And I remember I would consistently go to raves, and I it wasn't even like full, like what I wear now, obviously. It would just be like a few little trappings of something that I like could put on with like boots and and we would just be out all night. And from there, one of my other friends, Gary, who I'm still friends with, started sort of introducing me to we went to this place called Oz in Buena Park, which is where I met Raja. And then we used to go to Peanuts, because we had heard about Peanuts from Oz. And so we started going there, and then we went to like the Factory, which used to be a club in LA. Ripples is where I learned to do start doing contests. Drag contests were really big when I was coming up.
Ripples in Long Beach. That's right on the beach, right? I've been there.
Mm-hmm. And
I want to hear more about Peanuts.
Yeah, let's talk about Peanuts.
I have a lot of questions about Peanuts, because I have been doing drag for only like 4 years, but everyone talks about like hanging out at Peanuts back in the day, how it was like one of the original like bars to be at. Where was it, and like what was it about? I hear stories about Jasmine Masters just like hanging out there all night, doing stuff. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's so
what
interesting
happened there?
because
Was it for men to pick up women?
Well, you can pick up anybody there.
Would you date? Could you date?
Could
at
you
Peanuts?
date there? Was it speed dating at Peanuts?
Speed dating.
There was mixed nuts there for sure. It was a very mixed bag. It's funny. I was just talking to Josh Peace last night about this in
Josh
specific.
Peace.
Oh.
And Josh used to DJ there, and this is like when we were all kids. Josh was DJ at Peanuts, and I was just saying how funny it is when we drive down Santa Monica and we're like, oh my gosh, remember when Del Taco was right here? Oh my gosh, remember when this was right here? And like, there's not even a ghost of it anymore.
Yeah.
Like what the things that were once there, and just recently too, you guys know, so many things that are missing that when you try to tell someone who may not be familiar with it, they're like, oh girl, that wasn't there. Shut up. Like, and you're like, no, I swear to God, like that used to be a Del Taco. That used to be this. That used to be that. And I feel like one of the only things I still see on Santa Monica, if I'm driving from like Robertson back to the 101, is that Yoshinoya that stays open late.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's still there, I guess. Like, that's there. But you know, Peanuts was such a cool place to go because for specifically Mondays was like was a drag show, but there was obviously a lot of trans performers. Fridays was the trans show. And so
wow.
And so if you got to work on a Friday, it was like, wow, you're doing something right, because that's only for the trans girls. And your goal, was always to be as perfect as the trans girls.
Right.
As gorgeous. And for somebody, if somebody was like, you know what, you're good enough to be in this show with the trans girls, it was like, fuck, wow, I need to keep doing what I'm doing because they think I'm beautiful, and then of course, I mean, maybe they didn't think, maybe you were just the only bitch that was going to come perform for free. But, and then there was a show on Saturday nights a party called Cinematic. There was Sundays was called Velvet. There was Michelle's Triple X. There was parties going on all like constantly different promoters. It was super fun. I think the max you would get paid was $50. You would take your $50. You'd be grateful for your $50. You would go, afterwards we would go to the Yukon, which is right up the street where the Trader Joe's used to be, but I don't think any of that's there now. I think it's all like apartments or something. I don't even know. Maybe it is still there.
What was the layout of Peanuts? Because there's part of me that like imagines it like a movie bar that has like performances in it, which is always like a little hole in the wall, but somehow they have like a gorgeous, amazing stage. And then the other part of me is like imagining it like the Hi-Hat in Highland Park, where it's basically like a room with a curtain on the side. So I'm curious, like what the layout was.
Well, you can see the inside of this because I did a film short in there, and it lives somewhere, either on YouTube or one of those things, and it was called Get the Dime, and it was a film put out by Stephen Nichols, who was a soap opera star. And we filmed in there, and it was like myself, Viva Sex, Vanity Halston. And it was like a drag scene, and so you can see the inside of it. But basically, you would walk in, and there would be like a little window where you pay, and you would just slightly raise up a little bit, and you would be headed towards the DJ booth, which was a couple of steps up. But then you would be released to like a large size dance floor with a small bar. Now, the thing about the bar was that you could walk around the bar.
Oh,
and then you would be back onto the dance floor. But when you walked around it, there was like a galley of men that would sit back, because these were mostly, curious men, very curious men, not specifically gay or identifying as gay men, but men who were interested in trans women. And so they would just lean back and wait for hands to graze back and forth as they, and like they weren't naked or anything by any means, but they were expecting this kind of, and this is just something still like to this day. I mean, I know that we've come from some dangerous times as far as, HIV and awareness for all of that. But, I think with apps happening, there's something that I can remember from my generation. I'm Generation X, I suppose you call it. And
led by your leader DMX.
Yes.
From your generation.
But I can remember coming up as a gay kid in the early 90s, mid 90s. I can remember the idea of like what cruising in person was. Like, cruising was a thing. Now, like, and I'm not saying that health-wise that was the thing or whatever, but now people don't really have to do that in person. They don't know what that experience is. They can just type into their phone, this is exactly what I'm looking for, and I'll wait for the right one to respond. So I think what happens sometimes is they, again, maybe this is, I don't mean to promote something dangerous, but there was a bit of unexpected ecstasy of going like, oh my gosh, I never knew that I was totally into this, but last night at last call, there was I spent the night with this bear, or oh my god, I spent the night with this club kid, or whatever, and then you're like, bitch, I love that. I'm into this person. I'm into this type of person. But now people go, no, I think what I like is only this, so that's all I'm going to look for.
Well,
I don't know if
and
that's
you
a
get
weird
the
segue.
instant gratification of picking them and being like, this is happening, and instead of it being like a late night and you're a little tipsy and I don't know, someone pulls up and you suck your dick while you're wearing a diaper.
We are all still out here making horrible mistakes, even though we can choose.
Absolutely.
Even though you can put your likes on the app, you're still like, well, girl, I'll deal with that. That's fine. I'll go figure that out. Okay, so that's amazing. I want to know. I mean, so you and Raja just launched this podcast, That, and on the show, you have a lot of conversations about times in LA, from starting out or from your past. What are you enjoying doing the podcast? Because I really enjoy working on it with you guys, and I
love listening to
happy that it's happening. So I'm curious how you feel about it.
Thanks. Yeah, you know what? We're having a good time with it. I really do love it. It is interesting to listen to. I mean, it took me a long time to get used to listening to my own voice and I don't even mean like my own words, but my own sounds. Right? Because I mean, I'll be 45 in January, and I feel like many times I sound like a Valley girl. Like and I'm not even aware of it, and I don't particularly find shame in it, but it is interesting to go like, I don't think my voice has aged. Like I think I still sound like a little like complaining white girl or something. Like, and I guess that's who I am at heart, but on top of that, sometimes I feel like because people will send us messages on social media, I get messages and I try to respond to every one of them if I can. And they're like, oh my gosh, this instance or that instance about the podcast or this story. And I think like, what, like, I feel like sometimes I'm just complaining about shit or just like, but people are interested because maybe there's like-minded people. Yes. But I'm like, oh yes, are you sure? Like at one point, I told Raja the other day, I'm like, girl, when are people going to catch on to the fact that like, we're not changing anybody's life, girl. Like we don't really have much of an opinion other than like, I'm sweating, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I want money.
I mean, look who you're talking to. Yeah. The two of us get messages all the time from people saying...
But you're pros. You guys are pros.
But they say that they like what we're doing. What the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
I also will say that my favorite thing about you is that you do, it's not complaining, but you have a strong point of view. Because when I first started following you, my friends all told me to go follow you on Facebook because you used to do these videos where you would complain about like terrible service.
Criticize. Sorry. Not complaining. Criticize.
You would give notes to restaurants. You were a director. You were the ambassador. But
well, you know what's funny? What's funny you say that about that, Meatball, is that like I always feel like, you know, old philosophy that you have to be a good team player to be a good coach. You have to be able to do that. And so I feel in the orgies. Before I did drag full time as my career, I spent so many years working in customer service. And so far back that I worked at department stores, then I was a manager at Old Navy and different things like that. So I can remember when I worked in a department store, we used to have star rankings. So like the more mystery shops you would get, the better you would rank. And so you would want to be like a gold star, then a ruby star, then a diamond star, then a double diamond. And that was always my goal, was to be like as high as I could. And the way to do that was to always turn around a negative situation with a customer into a positive. And I always realized I mean, I feel like if anybody's never worked as either a food server or a full holiday season in retail, whether it's boutique
Oh
or
God.
at, you gain this new appreciation for how hard people work. And sometimes, you'll go to a restaurant and someone will start bitching at the waitress or the server about the way the food tastes, and when in actuality you're talking about the recipe, not the service.
Yeah.
Or you're talking about, if the bathroom is unclean, you're talking about, so it's like, who are you assigning the blame to, and what is the solution to this? And so I always feel like I do know what it's like to work in retail many Christmases, and I do know how people are shitty, and I do know for a fact that the customer is not always right.
Mm-hmm.
They
Say it
are
again.
not always right.
Say it again. They need to, I think the
I mean,
key
I'm
is-
always right, but the customer.
I will say, I think we were recording like an episode of Very That a few weeks ago, and you said something where you were like, we don't need to hear from everyone. People should just be a team player and get in line. We don't need everyone's opinion. And then the next sentence you were like, I'm going to start an OnlyFans where I just complain about everything. And I was
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
incredible. I think that's why people enjoy listening to you and enjoy listening to you and Raja talk on the show. At least for me, it's because you're taking things seriously, but you also are talking for talking's sake, and you're like living in the enjoyment
Mhm.
of hearing each other's banter and language and wordplay, and
And the
I could
language is so good. It's like the origin of so many things comes from
Yes.
old school drag, and you guys explain it. Like, I didn't realize that I Poop From There was y'all.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
funny.
It was like, oh, I poop from there. And like all the
I can't even-
noises. That was like you guys.
And isn't that weird to be like grown adults and like just communicate like animals moaning to one another? Why? I don't know why we do
It's
that.
like a secret language, and I feel like it's like whale
Mhm.
sounds. I have to decipher it.
It's calming, honestly. Like, I think there's also so many people who are just now discovering podcasts. So many people who go like, oh, I don't have the attention span or whatever. But the way I listen to podcasts is I listen to them both as like really aggressive, like listening to every single word and like reveling in them. And then also I listen to them in the background to make me feel like I have, friends.
Right. Stop.
and so I think everyone sort of engages with them in different ways, and
Sure.
I'm just happy that you all are a part of the audio landscape nowadays.
I love it. I think it's such a cool medium. And I think it's funny that you hit on that too about podcasts, is there's so many different ways, not just to appreciate them, but ways that people storytell. So like I first started getting into podcasts because I really like true crime. And so I do love storytelling ones. And there's even a couple that I have listened to on long drives that are a person telling a story. And I actually don't even know anything whatsoever about the narrator or the person. And it's almost like they're actually just reading files. And I'm like, but that monotone, sometimes I just need that. And I'm listening to just these facts, like they're typing them out.
Right.
And it's interesting because then I listen to like, the two of you, and it's like a fun play, and I know you now, and like, it makes sense because we do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So outside of this, if I was to encounter you in person, essentially whether we would be in two different places, we're still doing the same thing, essentially. So yeah, it's interesting how people approach podcasts.
And now we've both met a very famous person. Her name is Adele. What was your introduction to Adele?
So like the actual night that I got to do that,
you got like all dressed up like her. It was so good.
Yeah. So I knew that she was going to be coming in concert, and I had seen that. I had a friend who used to live here in LA that moved to Seattle, and her name is Christy Champagne, and she
Fancy name.
She got pulled up on stage with Adele. She was like one of the first like queens dressed up as Adele. I think she might have been the first one dressed up as her. Right? That was on social media that got pulled up, and I was like, oh my god, maybe that could happen for me if she comes here. And so my friend Lori Blitz started doing this Twitter campaign calling it a hashtag Adelta. And
Smart.
So she was like, Adele, you have to pull her up. What the fuck? Like, this is for real. Like, this is a real thing. This is going to happen. And she like went crazy. And so for the concert that night, it was me, Detox, Lori, and my partner Davey, and we all went, and we were so far. I mean, we had the last seats in town, the last seats. And Lori was like, had all her shit with her, and she's like, okay, cool. And she starts pulling out all this cardboard, and we were like, what is that? She's like, well, these are the signs to hold up. So she sees us up here, and I was like, what in the hell is really happening?
Miss
And Lori is
Lori.
like, Lori is the letter writer. If something happens, Lori will write a letter. And sure enough, and the people in our whole section were like so excited. They were like, yeah, we're going to keep screaming for you. She's going to notice you up here. She's going to have to. And at one point she was just like, I know there's somebody in drag here. I heard about it. And I guess her people heard about it on Twitter. So she's like, come down. She realized where I was. And she's like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and sing another song or two because you are really up there and it's going to be a minute.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
incredible.
And so did you have to be like, it's me she's talking about at the door?
Yeah.
Or they sort of let you through?
Yeah, so we were like, she said, "Look, go ahead and come down." So when we went down, we saw like the double doors, and I was like, oh, this would probably be the best way to get down directly would be the stairs.
Right.
So we all went running down, and when we got down to the bottom, we realized that there were no handles on the doors. And there was no windows or anything. So we were banging, and finally somebody opened, and they're like, you guys can't be in here. And we were like, no, she just called me to the stage. And they were like,
you're like, no,
oh,
Adele
bitch,
wants
come on.
me.
None of that's happening.
I mean,
And
you're
finally
in a
there was
full drag. Of course, I don't understand.
Yeah, and there was this one kid working in the concession stand, and thank God for a homosexual, because he was working
Say it
in the
again.
concession stand, just an abandoned little concession stand to the sign, and he goes, oh, hell no. She just called her to the stage. That's Delta. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. He's like, come on, let her out. And so we all came running out, and they opened the doors, and then there was like that really handsome security guard of hers that supposedly she stole from Beyonce. He looks like, he's like bald and tall.
Not Julius.
I don't know what his name is, but some tall, blonde, like white guy.
Oh,
looks
no.
British or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, he puts his hand out and he's like, let's go. And so happened that particular night, probably every night, all homosexuals on the floor. So
Sure.
like, it was like running through Hamburger Mary's and Motherlode and Peanuts. And they're all like looking, they're like, hey, bitch.
Yeah.
So that was a
so
cute
amazing.
That was a
It's-
cute experience.
It's sort of cool to think about, like, that's sort of like a national, global. I mean, that is like a global moment. Like, Adele is
Yeah.
a global
It
superstar.
was cool.
And so to be on the stage with her, but then to look out and directly in front of you to sort of have like the like more like local, like the
Sure.
support that you're used to on a more regular basis, like right there. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, these are my people, but then also this is being broadcast to the world. Like, that's a really cool vibe.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at people that are like, I know all those people gave me a buck at some point.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
all those people were like, we're just happy for you, girl. Go do what you're going to do. Like, make your mark. It's all good. And so it was cool. But of course, like a total ham, I was like, she's like, do you have anything you want to say? I'm like, yeah, I'm at Mary's on Tuesday nights at 10. You can catch me. And she's looking at me like, are you really giving out your schedule? I'm like, well, they're here now, so
Yeah.
what's up?
Girl, I'm a showgirl.
Yeah, I would have
Wait,
been like, my Instagram. You would follow my YouTube.
I should have done that.
She'd be trying
I
to grab
should've
the
done
mic
that.
back, and I'd be like, you can wait.
You can wait. This is
You
my
can wait.
moment. Okay, so you reprised your Adele look in the iconic Taylor Swift music
Swift.
video.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
You know what? Super cool. So I was I like pop music. I love pop songs, and so I was a fan of a few Taylor Swift songs, and I always
What are
knew
you
that
laughing about, people?
Because she's not just like, I like Taylor Swift. She's like, I'm a fan of a few of the songs.
Well, no,
I
and that
do
was
enjoy
yes,
pop
love that.
music. It's like,
no, for sure. No, I'm not. Promise, I'm not trying to be crazy.
Ooh, okay.
I hate
Petty.
you, Meatball. No, but so there was like a couple of Taylor Swift songs that I would performed in like mixes or something, and so when they called, I was like, oh, okay, this sounds really cool, but I knew that there was like this sort of looming thing, and there was almost like a movement of people that were like, do not like Taylor Swift.
Right.
We don't like her. She's privileged. She's this, she's that. And I'm like, well, what did she do? Like, I don't get it. Like, recently when they talk about, there was like a female rapper who was shot. And people are like,
Megan Thee Stallion.
well, she wasn't shot. Was she shot? I'm like, well, can't you just get a medical report to prove that the person was shot? Like, why are we arguing as to whether or not she's shot? So I was like, okay, well, what did she do? What did Taylor? She must have done something really negative. And I couldn't track down specifically why everybody hated Taylor Swift. I'm like, what did she do? Because I am seeing all these tweets prior to everything. Even though I'm not on Twitter, people will send me stuff. And I'm like, she seems to be pretty inclusive about people. Like, maybe people just don't like her because she seems like the antithesis of what you're supposed to be. Like, she seems, in their mind, she seems unaware. But in any event, we shot at a place called Movie Ranch. And it was a pouring rain day, and nobody knew who else was going to be there. We didn't know. All we were told individually was, you're coming to film something as Adele, and it's for Taylor Swift. And so when we got there and they took us to these private tents, it's like, then I start seeing, like, oh my God, my girl J. Jolie is here, and this person's here, that person's here. And I will say that the full day that we filmed, Taylor Swift was not filming anything that day, but she hung out with us in the tent the entire day. So she was there for about 12 hours.
Queen.
She didn't leave.
Wow.
She ate with us. She filmed a little piece of stuff with her phone. She let us know, like, look, I know you guys want to do stuff for your social media. We just can't. Like, you get it. You know how this shit works. So we have a little area that I had them set up where we're going to have a professional photographer take pictures to make little gifts and stuff. So you guys can have that. And I will make sure that it's sent to you. She even had like this ice sculpture set up, like in our specific tent for our crafty, that was like Taylor Swift loves her dolls or something like that. And then had these hand blown glass things with each of our names on them for us to put our drinks on all throughout the day. And she was just very present, very, very cool. And then we went to go to the VMAs with her.
Right.
You know, that again, same thing, hung out with us during the blocking, the rehearsal, was very nice, was very inclusive. And all those people that, you know, all her other cameos, her actual celebrities, her RuPaul, her Billy Porter and all that, I think they all filmed on different days, and maybe a lot of it was green screened because we didn't see any of those people. There's even a point where like RuPaul throws up a crown and we're all supposed to be reaching for it. That was like a PA and they just shopped that in. Right. So, you know, we didn't encounter RuPaul or anything, thank God.
It seems like because she had Todrick there that she was able to understand how to treat drag queens with like actors, like just that much as like treating them on the same level because they are doing a lot of work just to even be in the room with you.
Right.
Because I've heard so many horror stories of people getting on sets with like big stars and like not getting paid or being told to wear like really ugly shit even though they brought all their own good stuff that could look good on camera for them. It's just insane that like drag queens are consistently treated like shit. Also, I feel like Taylor Swift had the same thing where she was oversaturating the market, like Anne Hathaway. She was just everywhere. So we had to hate her to make her go away. End of list.
But the thing is, we talk about like hating people, but it's like, girl, from her perspective, nobody ever hated her. She's a millionaire. She sells all her albums. She like took back her masters. She like stood up to the corporation of Apple. She did all this stuff, and then her documentary came out, and like, you know, she had to like overcome this like fear of her like Southern Christian base of consumers because she wanted to speak out against Trump and the politics of it. You know, it's like, at a certain level, when people become that famous, it's like they just become like a little character in like a board game that we get to move around because we don't really know them as a human person. Right. What I thought was interesting and sort of like a catch-22 with someone at her level is when you put out a video like that, my initial response to that video was like, oh, I'm glad all these people are working and I love seeing all these people, but I roll because this looks like tokenism. This just looks like her going, let's get all the girls here so I can make my thing. But then when you go back and look at it, you're like, oh, you co-directed that with Todrick, so you brought in the community. You treated everyone really well. You informed millions of people to sign a petition about equality. Like that, in its initial moment, because of how we were all sort of thinking of her, it struck me as tokenism. But then after a second viewing, it's like, oh, that was activism is what that was. Like, it sort of wasn't the one thing, it was the other. And, you know, it's really only such a small percentage of the human experience understand what it like to be that famous and have that many eyes and that much money and that much pressure on you, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think what Meatball's saying too is so true, that including the important people, getting the opinion of people like Todrick, or people who would know what it is to work with queens. You know, we talked about, again, the idea of compensation and facilitation. You know, you bring in people and you're like, well, we paid you a bunch of money. We need you to look great. And you say, oh, okay, cool. Where do you get ready? I don't know, the bathroom. No, we're not going to do that. Because the reason we're not going to do that is because you want the best and you're paying for the best. You have to then facilitate the best. So I'm going to need some privacy. I'm going to need a mirror. I'm going to need an outlet. I'm going to need to be taken to the stage. I'm going to be not bothered. And again, and we're not talking about at a drag show at Mary's. Like, that's different. We know what it's like to be in the trenches with everybody else because we're all real. We're all the same person. But I'm saying when you're Taylor Swift or you're Beyonce or you're whatever, and you want to use a queen, or a drag king, a drag queen, a drag entertainer, a stripper, a DJ, whoever it is, you have to facilitate so they can provide that service for you. So they can do that and give you that 100%.
You're going to get a different performance from me if I'm getting ready in a nice dressing room or if I'm getting ready in a kitchen where they're making chicken nuggies.
Right.
It's the nuggies. It's the nuggies
that's going to get
you the good thing. Yeah,
because I can eat them right out of the fryer. And you know I like them fresh.
You like them crispy and fresh. All right, well, listen, let's take a break and we will be right back.
Yeah.
And we're back. Now, I know I saw you do The Witch from Into the Woods once on a big stage, and it was amazing. Have you heard of Elphaba? Do you know Wicked?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Okay, who is your favorite Elphaba who's played Elphaba in Wicked?
I am going to give you full disclosure right now.
Yes.
I've never seen Wicked.
Leave meeting!
I've never seen Wicked. And my drag daughter bought me a ticket to go with her parents, bought her tickets to go for her birthday years ago to go see Wicked. I mean, we're talking 10 years ago when I was here in LA.
Forever.
And I didn't go. And by the way, my partner is a huge fan of musicals, of Broadway, and I know so little. So I couldn't tell. To the point, I know so little about so many things like that. For instance, even Disney stuff. I love doing Disney numbers. I do tons of Disney characters.
Yeah.
And every time I want to do one, I'm usually compelled by what they look like. And then I haven't even seen the movies. So I have to go on Wikipedia and look up, where are they from? What's their name? What's their plot line? And then I put together a story about them. I know that little.
Watching the movie?
You'd rather do research than watch a movie?
I would rather.
I bet you got straight A's and we're a big fan of like
I know that's awful. That seems inauthentic for somebody who professes to be so authentic sometimes. I think that seems, but I'm being honest. Like I've seen Cinderella. Like I've seen Lion King. I love Lion King.
Sure. Wait, I want to know about your partner.
David.
Did you all meet in drag?
No, well, sort of, yeah.
He's a chaser.
No, we met when I was traveling, and he is from Utah. So we met when I was traveling, and we had like a long distance thing where I would go to Salt Lake, or he would come to LA, or we would meet in Las Vegas. And eventually I think we've been together for 10 years. he eventually just was like, well, I'll just move there. Like, why not? Let's do it. And he moved here, and we've been living together for, 10, what is it? It's 2020. So no, almost 10 years. So I think it was like 2011. So
That's
almost 10 years.
incredible.
And he makes dresses, right? He's a
He
designer.
does. He's self-taught. So prior to this, he worked in retail. But when he moved here, he was like, saw my sewing machine. I was like, how come you never make anything? I said, well, I just haven't, but I do sew. I do know how to sew and make clothing. And he started screwing around, and literally, I would say within 2 months, was just like making patterns, following patterns.
Oh my God.
And was like, and then had met all the girls, of course, and was like, just girls in the area. And they were like, could you make this for me? Could you do that? And since then has, done pretty much everything I wear, just because, sometimes, being plus size is hard to find stuff that you want that's sparkly or that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
And
the only plus size stuff is like, I don't know, just everyday regular day wear. And you can't even church it up. You can't even drag that up because you're just like, ugh, what am I wearing? Stretchy pants?
And so from there, he started made stuff for Trixie and made a few things for her, made stuff for Bianca, who of course Bianca Del Rio sews her own things.
Yeah.
But they had a friendship, and she was like, hey, I'm going on tour. Why don't you pump out a couple of things for me to incorporate with what I already have?
Mm-hmm.
And so, Detox and some of the girls, and so that's what he does. And he's actually our cats, we have 2 cats, Cha-Cha and Tango, and they're named after ballroom dancers because Davey's a former ballroom dancer. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you guys watch Dancing with the Stars?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
See, you know what's funny? I have to tell you.
Got it.
I have to tell you this that I think is funny too, because we're going back to the Taylor Swift thing and about how people she became like the chess piece or whatever.
Right.
I think there's also, and I don't want to think I'm this person, but I could be this person. And that is one of those sort of dissidents that's like, oh, you watch Game of Thrones? Oh no, I'm not into what's popular right now.
Right.
Oh, you do that? Oh, I don't do that, Darlene. And I it's not that I'm literally again, because I'm an only child, and I can busy myself staring at the wall all day long and just being like, and get lost in my thoughts. So it's hard for me to pick up on a new show unless it's like a crime documentary or something about ghosts. I like stuff like that. But whenever something's I've never seen Bates Motel. I've never seen Game of Thrones. For the longest time, up until a year ago, I thought that Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter was the same thing. I swear to you, and I'm not being fake. I really thought, it's the same. It's just a series of the same book.
How many Harry Potter shows did you do?
What's that?
How many Harry Potter themed shows have you done thinking that it is
No,
Lord of the
but I
Rings?
do have a Harry Potter number. I have a Hermione Granger number. I totally. But Davey was like, "Babe, why can't you just give it a shot?" And I'm like, "I can't. I would rather sit here and watch reruns of." And on Investigative Discovery, I would rather watch the same crime story about Chris Watts over and over.
What's your favorite crime podcast? Because I'm getting over the ones that I'm listening to.
I do like to listen to. Recently, I started listening to Appalachia Mysteria.
Okay.
Whoa.
Which is really good. There's 2 seasons of Appalachia Mysteria, and they're 2 different cases, but they're each, of course, oh God, what's his name? Payne Lindsay's shit.
Up and Vanish.
Oh,
Up and Vanish.
Woo! Yeah, girl.
Love Payne Lindsay.
That'll ruin your sleep.
They turned the first season of that, I think, into a TV show, right? Yeah.
And Payne Lindsay produced that, I think.
Yeah.
I love it's called The Vanished. That's pretty good. I used to love one that's no longer around called Hell and Gone. And it's from somewhere in the South, and it's a lady that narrates that. And then also Someone Knows Something is really good from the CBC. Someone knows something.
That sounds like something you would say to someone at the club.
Someone knows something.
And what I loved about that one is when I was listening to that one, it was centering around a case that was happening in Canada. And it so happened that I was flying into Canada. As I finished that podcast, that whole season, a week later, I was flying right into where all of this happened.
Whoop.
And I was like, oh God, I need to stay a couple of days. I just want to see where it happened. I want to see.
Yes.
And I was like, that seems a little like, what if people are like, what is this guy from the United States like just hanging out at the like America's Best Value hotel, like creeping around, like
You're like, I'm an independent
for bullet holes.
crime.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing research.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
solve this case.
we are gonna get into our final segment, which is fuck talk, but I do want to ask you about you of course have won an Emmy
Where is
for
it?
doing hair on
Bring it out.
television. Meatball wants to see it. You came on. You were a guest on Race Chaser. We had a lot of conversation about all of that. I'm less so curious. Like, obviously, you worked on the show. You worked with RuPaul. You worked with Raven, and then that was a period of time, and now that's no longer. It didn't continue. I'm curious more so about like where you are now and how you see that experience and like sort of like what you
learned from it.
Yeah, exactly.
What you can like tell us about it.
Because like you have a huge television award for your contributions working on a television show that has global impact as one of like the biggest queer representations that has ever existed on television. Like that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think I would like to say that winning an award like that sets you up for nothing but success. I would love to say like, oh my gosh, once you get that, you are solidified and you just the work is done. Like all your hard work has now given you this, and that's not true whatsoever. People are excited my friends are excited about it. But certainly, I will say I don't believe, and this is not something I've really spoke about, but this is something that I've noticed over the past, I would say, year or so. Certainly not other people in the same industry are very happy about.
Wow.
Because I believe they think it was undeserved. And I believe they think that they could have, as artists, done something vastly better than I did, and that they should have received that award. Because essentially, anybody that does hair or makeup would love to go, oh, I'm going to do hair and makeup on RuPaul.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm going to show you what I can do to RuPaul.
Right.
And what they don't realize is that, no, you're not going to show what you can do. You're going to show how well you can follow the rules because you're going to do what RuPaul asks you to do.
Right.
So with that said, there's only a handful, and I mean a tiny handful of people in the sort of wig industry that are friendly with me. And many of those people, even I will go to their pages and see something pop up and I'll go, oh, I'm loving this so much. I'd love to buy, I still buy wigs.
Yeah.
And
Right.
sometimes I'll see a styled wig and I'll go, I want that. I don't think I could do that or have the patience to do that. And they're very, I don't want to say disrespectful, but purposefully are like, ew.
What?
And it happens all the time. And to that, I realized that's fine. That just solidifies my friends that in the industry that are like, hey, you do what you do. I do what I do. And we're both going to shine at the same time because there can be two blossoms on a bush. They don't have to compete.
Yes.
Like
Right.
you can do what you do. So, like my friend Tony, who does vintage hair,
Yeah.
his Vintage Touch, he has been like my friend for so long. And I mean, my God, I'm old enough to be Tony's parent, but Tony has like far surpassed what many people can do in hair because he's worked so hard at what he does.
Yeah.
I think of somebody like Wigs by Vanity, who's always, when I won the award, had to go post up on her thing. Hey, I just want to let everybody know that I'm in Australia and Delta Work just won this Emmy, and I think it's fucking cool and like good for her. Like do the damn thing. And to this day, I still buy wigs from Wigs by Vanity. But there are many that purposefully are like, I can literally, I think my superpower, if I was ever a superhero, my superpower would be that I can smell bullshit from a mile away and tell you the color of cow that's shitting it. And so I know, and I know the both of you know too, when somebody's, that just, maybe it's that gay sixth sense of when you go, I know you're talking about me. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not mad, but I know it's happening, and don't act like I don't know that
Right.
that's happening. And and it's cool, but I get it.
It's
and
cool.
so it's cool, but and so where I stand with it now, dead honest, my Emmy sits in my mother's bedroom. I gave it to my mom, and she's like, it sits at her dressing station where she puts her makeup on. And I'm sitting here in my living room, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wigs in here that I've styled that I put on Instagram and I sell, because I don't have any celebrity clients, because no matter what award I have, there are many people that do what I do just as good, if not better, and they're better connected. And I do feel like there are people that are like, we don't work with that person because she is too opinionated. And because she doesn't just work behind the camera, she works in front of the camera. And that is unfortunate for us, because if we step on her toes, she realized after a couple of years that she was going to finally say, excuse me, you stepped on my toes. I don't like that. And that's been my relationship with a lot of people. Now, I am very good at keeping secrets. So, if people want me to work with them, and they are like, listen, I sign NDAs, and I keep my word on NDAs. Right. I do that. And so I understand how the business works. I'm not looking to spill people's secrets. I'm willing to keep those secrets if they're willing to treat me fairly. And I haven't encountered that yet. And I'd like to encounter that. I'd love to style wigs for, amazing people, but I do get to style wigs for amazing people because I get to style wigs for drag queens that work day in, day out at brunches at Hamburger Mary's, and drag queens that are working, bingos and stuff like that. They trust me and go, hey, I'd like to have a wig too. And if I'm able to make it for them and I'm able to do it affordably for both of us, to me, I'm still styling stuff for amazing people.
Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that and we are going to talk about doing sex now, but I will say, like,
doing sex.
Yeah, that's
you ever done that before?
Have you ever done that before? What I just want to say, and something I think that both Meatball and I have experienced, and I think a lot of actually just like queer people experiences, oftentimes in sort of any industry or any lane that you want to, go down, when you are the other, you find yourself doing things differently. You're often the outsider. You do it in a different way. And, thinking about the industry, I know there are so many people who say to me, like, oh, it's so weird you don't have an agent, and like, I've never had like a music agent. I just do it all myself. And I think even when you're sort of like being brought into an establishment and then like you win like such a mainstream award, it's such this thing of like, well, I don't know, she's in front of the camera and behind the camera, and she's not in the union, and she's this, and it was the exception to the rule. But then like, how do we just go like, hey, here, let's walk you into it? I think queer people and alternative artists, like, we sort of always have to sort of make our own rules and make our own way. And so, anyways, it's that's all I want to say, because I understand that
makes sense.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about penises and buttholes.
Have you ever fucked in drag?
Yes, I have.
Ooh, come on,
because
you were feeling the fantasy, or because you just happened to be in drag at the moment?
Actually, probably both.
Ooh.
I feel like Rasha and I have discussed this at length, and not ever on our podcast, but just in our lives in general. I totally believe that some people, there's like a serious amount of duality with them. Like, I think some people are comfortable going like, oh yeah, like some gay men will be like, oh, I'll wear a pink shirt, I'm cool, but they but that's the extent of it, right? And I'm not saying that like they're not in tune with something. That's just who they are.
Yeah. They're
like, you know what? I'm actually kind of not an effeminate person. But I think, like Rasha and I have discussed, I think we're both like, there's such a duality and a recognition of that, not just from doing drag, but just from all of our life experiences. I mean, I'm so influenced by so many different kinds of women. Like I'll always look at some celebrity and I'll go, oh, that's my drag mother. That's my drag mother. Like, I post pictures of Jacqueline Smith from Charlie's Angels. I'm like, my drag mother. Well, I post Vanessa Williams is, of course, like my goddess.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, that's my drag mother. And people are like, girl, why is everybody your drag mother? And I'm like, because they've all in some way, again, as an only child, like I was raised on seeing these images and creating this sort of what a new word that I think is thrown around a lot, that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, people use that term a lot more. I created that narrative in my mind, like, okay, in this situation, you respond as the way this person would respond, or that person. And that's just sort of how I remember RuPaul one time saying that she gets the cadence and the way that she speaks from Eve Arden. She's like, I like to speak. She said, I like to speak like Eve Arden. And I went back and looked at a few things and I'm like, I see it. I can totally see it. And Raja will send me sometimes pictures of women and she'll go, this is you. This commercial for this perfume from the 80s, that's you when you're the woman. And she just calls it the woman. So she'll say like, whenever you're in drag, when I'm in drag, she'll be like, oh girl, I saw you the other day and you were giving the woman and you were giving this one right here. Like, and it's just funny. Like I have for sure. And intention, not girl, for 20 years probably, or not like 15 years. Not since I've been in a relationship. That doesn't happen. Not dressed up in.
You don't like do your face and then you're like,
no,
David.
Well, maybe because it's just become like a thing. You know, getting in drag is such a hassle.
Yeah,
sure.
So you're like, I'm not gonna. And besides, that's being in drag is so hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very warm. Also, like being corseted and cinched and all that stuff is no fun for me.
What's a corset? What's that?
It's hard. It's full of metal bones.
I bet you wear a shoe with a heel on it. I'm gonna do that one day. When we did that photo shoot, you and I, we all did that socially distanced photo shoot. And I was like, girl, Meatball is walking around in these shoes like they're tennis shoes. You were just jumping over this and jumping over that. And I was like, girl, I wait till the last minute to put a fucking shoe on my foot.
But
not
no,
you.
I was still sweaty, even though I was seated for a large portion of the day.
Nobody could tell. Nobody could tell.
Stop sweating.
Also, you were corseted, Meatball, and like all the dresses you wore were circles. None of them had any shape to them. Why were you corseted?
Because she was becoming the woman.
I was
the woman.
In order to feel the fantasy. You're right. The second dress I wore, I didn't need to be corseted. It was a jellyfish dress.
It was a
but
blob.
you stood differently. You stood differently,
yeah, it pushes
right?
my butt out. So that's what I needed.
Feeling the woman. I sometimes feel like I should, strap on all the accoutrement. All I do is work with drag queens all the time, and I'm always like, "Yeah, put a nail on, put a shoe on, get your corset
all
on."
You
and
ever
I
do
don't
is
do
yell at
any
me
of
to
that.
get dressed.
Yeah,
listen,
exactly.
this can't be your narrative. I don't need you to just be around drag queens for long enough that you're like, I could do that. I want to do that. We don't need that.
I know
the
you
boys
don't.
always do that though. The boys are always like, "Oh no, bitch! If I was in drag, I would do it like
I
this.
would serve, and I'm
And
like,
you're like, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
I used to dance in heels,
Okay,
so that I know I could.
but did you get fucked in heels?
I could have seen Dustin's face.
She said, "Pause."
But did you
Okay.
get fucked in heels?
No. But did I get fucked ever?
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, you don't take it in the booty hole, honey.
I have a hard time. I have a
You have
hard
a heart
time.
condition,
I
and
have a hard time bottoming.
and then he doesn't top people anymore either. I think now you strictly just suck on dicks.
Yes, and then put entire turkeys around my fist up to my elbow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he likes to do a turkey fisting. Have you ever fisted anyone?
Yeah, Delt.
Delta,
What's
you ever
that?
fisted anyone?
No,
Peanuts
I haven't.
didn't have a back room.
I haven't. I'm not. I don't think I would ever try that just because I'm fearful of that, but I'm very intrigued. I think it's really cool, and I think it must take a lot of patience and a lot of trust with someone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I
you
think
should,
I think it's really.
Would you watch?
Yeah, would you watch
watch
Meatball
it
and I do color
digitally?
commentary as someone got fisted?
Yeah, of course I would watch.
Oh, okay,
I
good,
would.
good, good, good.
I would watch anything that was happening between consenting adults. I would absolutely watch.
Well,
Anything that was happening, it wouldn't bother me at all. I don't really get grossed out because I sometimes I feel like, it's so interesting. We were talking about food the other night, and they were like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe you're eating cauliflower chips. That's disgusting. I would never." And I'm like, "But you put your mouth inside someone's rectum.
Yeah.
So what's the
It's
difference?
like, where's the line for you?
And who
Also-
cares? Like,
A cauliflower chip? That's like very
delicious.
healthy.
Yeah.
They just thought it was gross. They thought it was gross. And I'm like, well, I don't really think anything's gross. I mean, if you're doing things, as clean as possible, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, we want to thank you so much for being on Sloppy Seconds.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a great time.
I had a really wonderful time.
Find Delta Work at her Instagram, which is Delta Work. You can go on Instagram Live. You can see the stories are very populated. It's not just a couple lines; it's a lot of small dashes.
It looks
across
like
the
Morse
top
code.
Of her...
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
She's out there on the IG, and that's it. You can email us at sloppysecondspot@gmail.com, or Meatball, you want to sing them the song?
Yeah, you can call in with your fuck talk story to 213-536-9180. You can follow us on Instagram at Big Dipper Jelly and at Spiciest Meatball, or I'm Fat Drag Meatball on Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't ever miss an episode, which will now come out every Tuesday and Friday. Today is Friday.
Delta, any last words?
No, just I love you guys so much, and I'm really excited to interact on this podcast and see that I'm not the only person who's insane that talks about crazy things. You guys are doing this. You guys are talking about crazy shit too, and I think I found a great place to be. So thank you guys.
I'm so happy because I did a show with Raja in Minneapolis and I fell in love with her. So I'm so happy that you two are on this podcast together because I feel like I'm friends with you now. Like you guys just shoot the shit and it's so good. So everyone go listen to Very That. It's on the Forever Dog Network. Heenies.
All right, that's it. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Doodle-doo-doo. Forever Dog. To listen to Sloppy Seconds ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcast.com/plus.
Sloppy Seconds is produced by Forever Dog and Moguls of Media.
M.O.M. Hosted by Big Dipper and Meatball. Mixed and mastered by William Pitts.
Executive produced by Willem Belli, Alaska Thunderfuck, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey.
Our artwork is drawn by Christian Cimarroni.
And our theme song was written by Mike Malarkey.